So we're still here. This is Hello Frank. My name is Frank Ntiama Williams, and our next story we zoom straight. We go all the way to West Virginia. And West Virginia, the United States Attorney's Office, that is the Southern District of West Virginia, has announced they've made a press release, and this press release was released on March 23rd. And it talks about a Ghanaian national sentenced to prison for role in romance fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, this Ghanaian national happens to be the son of the former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources and also the former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Abdul Inusah Fuseni. If you remember, last year somewhere in August, I think on the 12th of August, there was this broadcast story of his son who was alleged to be involved in some romance fraud in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, the Southern District of West Virginia, the Attorney's Office has released a press statement that indicates that his son, Abdul Inusah, has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. Let me go through the release. Ghanaian national sentenced to prison for role in romance fraud scheme. And it goes, Abdul Inusah, 32, of Ghana, was sentenced today to 2 years imprisonment, to be followed by 3 years of supervised release for his role in Huntington-based scheme that defrauded individuals in multiple states through the use of false online personas. Inusah was also ordered to pay an amount of $128,000 in restitution. After 3 days of trial, the federal jury found that Inusah was part of a conspiracy that triggered victims use false personas via email, text messaging, online dating website, and social media platforms. From at least January 2018 through at least December 2019, the scheme participants sought to induce victims believing they were in a romantic relationship, friendship, or business relationship with the various false personas. The victims were persuaded to send money for a variety of false and fraudulent reasons for the benefit of false personas. One false persona, Miriama, was used to induce an Alabama resident into providing $106,000 via wire transfers and cashier's checks. The amount included $48,000 to pay overdue taxes on the non-existent gold inheritance in Ghana, and also $21,000 wired to Bishop Supply LLC, a shell company set up by Inusah. Another false persona, Grace, persuaded a Washington resident to wire funds so Grace could maintain her South African cocoa plantation and move to the United States to marry the victim. Other victims of the false personas included residents of Ohio and Florida. The federal jury found Inusah guilty of receipt of stolen money, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and 2 counts of wire fraud on August 12, 2022. It says that perhaps more than others involved, Abdul Inusah understood the scope of criminal conspiracy and that it was exploiting innocent and often vulnerable victims, said the United States Attorney Will Thompson. The defendant even recruited others to help commit this fraud whilst taking steps to conceal his own involvement. United States Attorney Thompson made the announcement and commended the investigative work of the United States Secret Service, the United States Postal Inspection Service, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation Office of the Inspector General, the FDIC and OIG, the West Virginia State Police, and the South Charlton Police Department. I also commend the Assistant United States Attorney Kathleen Robson and the former Assistant United States Attorney R. Gregory Mavi on the trial term for the prosecuting the case and securing the guilty verdict, Thompson said. So this is released from the office of the attorney, that is the United States Attorney's Office, Southern District of West Virginia. And as we speak, from March 23rd, Abdul Inusah, 32 years, the son of the former Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources, Natural Resources, and the former MP of Tamale Central, has been sentenced to jail for 2 years. Now, let's give you a background to this story. So, if you remember, on the 12th of August 2022, somewhere last year, this news went viral when he was accused of involvement into this fraudulent act that has got to do with romance schemes. We had the father coming to speak and clearing issue. We had the son also granting an interview to Asase Radio in Ghana, also speaking what he also knows. I'm going to go through some of the reportage that came. Abdul Inusah, I am innocent and still fighting U.S. fraud conviction. This was published in Daily and the Graphic Online on August 25th, 2022. That is where he was addressing the issue and speaking about his innocence. According to Abdul Inusah, he says he intends to appeal the United States federal jury conviction for his role in a fraud and money laundering scheme that defrauded individuals in multiple states through the use of false online personas. So according to him, he remained a free man and he intends to appeal the verdict of the jury ahead of his sentencing on November 21st. You remember that the sentencing was scheduled for November 21st, 2022, and then it was postponed to December. But in March 2023, the sentence was made, and Abdul Inusah has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. So let me take some of his statements. A jury came, this is when he was explaining, that is Abdul Inusah was explaining during his interview with Asase Radio that was published in Graphic Online. He said a jury came out with somewhat of a verdict pronouncing me not guilty for 3 to 4 counts on those counts, and they thought I was guilty of 4 counts, he said in an interview with Accra-based Asase Radio. He continues, so from there, the Justice Department came out with a communique talking about what happened in the trial, and was from these communications that Ghanaian media would have fetched those information that they are circulating. This was back in 2022 in August. But as to the conviction or jail sentence or time, there's nothing of that sort. He was speaking in 2022. He says there was nothing of that sort because there's still a chance for me to talk to the government as to whether I still want to pursue the case from a different angle, or just having a man-to-man talk with them with respect to giving them some information for a lesser sentence, or whatever I decide to do with the case. Me and my lawyers, we are still continuing it because we strongly believe that I am innocent, and this is just one of the prejudicial cases that they must find a conviction at all costs. And this, so he went on to apologize to his family. He says, apologizing to his family and friends over the media reports and commentary over the case, an optimistic Inusah stressed that he was innocent and will soon be a free man. So he states that my utmost worry right now is not fighting my case or providing my innocence to the Ghanaian public. Inusah said, my very utmost problem right now will be my family and friends who have been affected by this half-truth publication, with ultimate respect, because I don't want to discredit anybody's work. But these are half-truth. This was when he was responding to the allegations or the reportage that was the first press statement that was released from the Southern District Office of West Virginia, the attorney's office. So he says that, but there's half-truth, and people who live in Ghana are being affected, especially my family and loved ones, and I would like to apologize to them, and that they should take heart and keep having faith that brother and son is innocent and will soon be a free man. We will rejoice and jubilate with the people of Ghana. Unfortunately, this did not materialize, and in March 23rd, 2023, Inusah has been sentenced to 2 years in jail with 3 years supervised release, and also to pay an amount of $128,000. Yes, $128,000 in restitution. So this is what has been released by the the Southern District of West Virginia, the attorney's office. So we took you back, and you remember that when this news came out, the former MP, that is Abdul Inusah, also spoke his side of the story, what he also knew about the story, what his son also told him. This was also published on 24th of August 2022 by Ghana Web, and it says that former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and MP for Tamale Central, Inusah has reacted following reports that the son Abdul Inusah has been found guilty of money laundering and wire fraud in the United States of America. The former MP described the development as terrible while seeking to explain the detail of what led to the incident. Speaking in an interview with Asasi Radio, Inusah explained that his son's documents were used by his colleague who has requested same for a transaction, but unfortunately it turned out to be he used it for romance fraud. As a father, my son told me that one of his colleague students wanted a car, and he has the document that allows him to auction vehicles, and it turns out that the colleague student was involved in a romance fraud, the former legislature told Asasi Radio. So that is what the former legislature, that is Alhaji Hussaini Inusah, the former member of parliament for Tamale Central, said during when the first statement was released by the Southern District of West Virginia, the attorney's office. Then what his son had informed him about, he also made it clear. But now his son has been sentenced to 2 years in jail, and we're trying to delve into the count. You remember that the son said that some of the counts, he was not found guilty on some of the counts. So we delve into some of the issues, and then we go to Make Law. When you go to Make Law on their website, they have the details of what the count was, and you know what exactly the count that he was found guilty on. I'm trying to pull that one out so that we can have a better understanding of it. So More Law says that they give the detail as to, you know, the count. They said fraud by wire, radio, or television, that is count 1s, 2, and 2s. Sale of receipt of stolen goods and their securities and money, etc., count 4. Money laundering as an interstate commerce, that is count 5. So More Law gives the details of what he was found guilty on. So as at the December, that is August 12, 2022, the jury verdict. This is what More Law says. It says guilty on count 1s and 2s, 4, 7, and not guilty on counts 3, 5, and 6. So that is what More Laws give the details. So those details has been given in the press release from the Southern District of West Virginia. As we speak, it's rather unfortunate. Abdul Inusah, 32 years old, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison, and also followed by 3 years of supervised release, and for his role in a Huntington-based scheme that defrauded individuals in multiple states through the use of false online personas. He's also ordered to pay an amount of $128,000 in restitution. We're still following the story, and to find out if there will be a possible appeal. If there is, we'll let you know. But right now, what we know, what we have per the press statement coming from the United States Attorney's Office from the Southern District of West Virginia, indicates and confirms that the son of the former Minister of State and the former Member of Parliament, his son Abdul Inusah, has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. Not the kind of story we want to hear about our fellow countrymen residing in the United States. You remember the dad indicated that he sent his son to the United States to study engineering, but unfortunately, definitely this is not a story that any father, any parent would like to hear concerning their children. This is Hello Frank. My name is Frank Ntiama Williams, and on this story we'll just do a U-turn, and then we'll come back for more stories. We'll be right back.